All right, then up 48. Routed port. What is a routed port? It is a routed port. I'm not so sure if that's correct. What's a routed port? What is a routed port? On a layer 3 switch. Configures it like a port on a router. Okay, port on a router. Layer 3 functionality, point to point. All right. To be answered to, I think I pretty much have something. What is a characteristic of a routed port on a layer 3 switch? The routed port, what's the difference between my ports, upper layer? Right. Let me put it this way. Layer 3 switch, and my port, and a functional same layer 2 ports, meaning I'm guys are switching and switching on. And my ports as well, which can act as my routing ports. So I think I'll perform my routing. What's the difference between those two layers? I think it can give you an answer. Layer 2, layer 3. Answer you do up it's B. That port is not assigned to any VLAN. That port should not, it's not associated to any VLAN because it's a routing port. And here to you are an address and all. It's like assigning port E router E. Router on a stick could assign a VLAN E. It is not assigned to any VLAN. I think those repap, even if you use elimination, it cannot have an IP address. It can commonly used as a one link, not common. Not common. Because my layer 3 switch, they are then connected to my routers. My routers, my interfaces are not connected to my one links usually. So you see my layer 3 switch and a connection, I got something like this. My layer interface ndorinoenda ku1 iri. Iyi ndinonzi 1 yenye. This one, no one is. So this one is not commonly a one link. So I can remove this. It definitely can support trunk. Can support trunk. Am I muted or where?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Oh, yes, we are you.
That was a simple question. I think it stems from understanding with the switch layer 3. Rename ports are capable of switching and routing. You just have to activate a port so that it acts either as a port related switching or as a port related routing. 49 exhibit, let's do this. Network admin needs to configure it on a stick. How many sub interfaces will have to be created on the router if each VLAN is to be routed and each VLAN has its own sub interface? How many VLANs do we need? If each VLAN has its own sub interface. How many VLANs? We have an IP phone. All right. VLAN 7 they probably. mavhilani mangana muri kuona?
Ndikuona one but iri kuita kunge ndo yefoni yevillain iyo.
Aiwa, ichi yefoni.
So it means we need to do two additional.
Tarisa address yefoni. Villain 7 haisi yefoni.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we need 3.
3 ichi. So inini I can see 1 here. I can see 2 here. Revoice. I can also see 3 and 4. Because ukatarisa ma IP address ari manetworks akasiyana. Unoona?
Okay.
Oro usamboenda kwese kungotarisa kuti manetworks akasiyana. Zvinogona kuti inofanira iri villain yega yega. So iyi network iyi yakasiyana neiyi yakasiyana nei. Probably yakasiyana here nei. Check 10.143/29 the 10.1.4.18 akasiyana maslash akasiyana so manetworks akasiyana. So 4 networks, 4 villains. Seems obvious. And I'm thinking chingori confusing ndechekuti villain iyi yaisirwe apa ivillain ichi ndo chingori confusing. So I think the answer is either 3 or 4. Which one can we go with? I think I'll go with 4 because it's in a form.
4
Networks andakatarisa. Right, a technician is configuring a new Cisco 2960 switch. What is the effect of issuing MDIX auto command? MDIX, there are cable there. Answer A, number 50A. It automatically adjusts the port to allow device connections to use either straight or crossover. A technician is configuring a new 2960 switch. What is the effect of issuing IP address, what command on a switch? Trim interface. Switch visual interface here. Answer is here. It applies in IPv4 to visual interface. This one I hit IPv6, IPv6 I hit updates MAC address I hit activates virtual or physical, no physical. A switch arena physical interface rinoiswa IP address. There is only a visual interface. Simple this one. A technician is configuring a new Cisco switch. What is the effect of issuing configure terminal? I'm a question. What is the effect of issuing command configure terminal? Number 54. What is the effect of issuing shutdown command? It enables an interface. See,
not disable.
Shutdown. Or it's
shutdown with tables.
Yeah, shutdown is disabled. So this one is incorrect. It disables the virtual or physical interface. It's number 55. What is the effect of issuing shutdown? Alpha 56. The technician is what is the effect of issuing the IPv6 address? Had no more to discuss quiz IPv6 address for switch visual interface, and we never did that. I don't think so.
Yeah, we never did.
Yeah, but I think it applies in IPv6 address to the visual interface. I think in practice, we only applied the version 4 address on the visual interface. Right, exit commands, remote interface, exit, global area to privilege.
But inodzoka kuya muglobal.
Global.
Exit inodzoka kuya muglobal.
All right. Is end.
Inobva privilege.
End inodzoka privilege. Control C inodzoka privileges or control Z it should be privileges or. All right. What is the effect of issuing an enable command? We enter the privilege. Yeah. Uko ndoko kutsvaga mamarks nemaquestions akaita kunga makamirira exhibit. Ukaona uchipotsa ikoko kwamenawo. What is the effect of issuing duplex full command? I think that's for full duplex. Allows data to flow in both
Ichirungu.
directions.
Quick.
Now 60, what type of VLAN should not carry voice and network management traffic? Data.
Security. Is it security?
Data. What type of VLAN
Data.
should not carry voice? Yeah, data and voice. Right. Homeworkers. One of my questions I had trigger.
One said, tine security VLAN.
Exactly. No sangachita ubvunza.
Security
Security
VLAN.
VLAN ain't gonna. The reason why I'm a security VLAN papa is probably because haakwanisi kuisa voice ne-management because ndo cannot carry. But does security VLAN exist? Hakuna VLAN and security. Uyibata Lloyd. My question is
Yeah, ndatonzwa kunyara ipapa.
what type of VLAN is designed to reserve bandwidth to ensure IP phone quality voice? Trunk VLAN hakuna ina trunk VLAN. Hakuna futhi. What type of VLAN?
Like I said, just to go through it again. Mafo VLAN edichi, data voice management
data native, data voice
Native.
management native. The native panaita siri. I think anokwana yese pa.
Kwana 4 akadaro.
E4.
Ari 4 akadaro, data voice management native.
What type of VLAN? Default is type of VLAN.
Default. Default yadinoise. But default ine native zvinoda kuzongo ndopara kunivhizike ipapo. Kuti zvoda kuzongoita zvakangodaura kuti ukabvisa native inobva yangodzosera default ikoko.
Ungoti native nge-untagged default VLAN one.
Right. Let's clarify about. If paunotanga kuita configuration without any VLANs configured per network, it means every interface, every port rim default VLAN. Then ukatanga create my VLANs, probably ucha create my data VLAN, ucha create my voice VLAN, ucha create my management VLAN. If you do not create a native VLAN, it means by default native VLAN rako ichi default VLAN. Then that is not recommended. That's when you have to create a native VLAN. Ukachizo create a native VLAN rako, it means a default VLAN and this is what munasara mnechi. But native VLAN rinofanira kutobudemo. But kana pasina native VLAN, it means default VLAN ndo native VLAN.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
What type of VLAN is initially the management VLAN? Initially, my default. So answer the A, number 63. What type of VLAN is designed to have a delay of less than 150 milliseconds across the network? Voice in doing bus and delay. What type of VLAN is used to separate the network into groups of users or devices? Users. Each year is SI eliminate
data.
Answer data.
Data.
Do you know allow the
Data
VLAN admin, VLAN rani. Do you know allow that? Management VLAN is for all traffic management. Voice VLAN is for traffic voice. Native VLAN is for untagged traffic. But my data VLAN can allow you to create multiple VLANs. We should do part masita wanda. Right, what type of VLAN is configured specifically? Management. Management. No management traffic actually. SSH Telnet, HTTPS, SNMP. What type of VLAN supports untagged? Debate on if
The VLAN.
native. What type of VLAN supports untagged? Native. Refer to exhibit ya domo guy. I mean, when the administrator checks the status of the serial interface, the interface is showing it's down. What additional command must be entered on the serial interface R1 to bring the interface up?
No shutdown.
Yeah, hapana no shutdown. Makurumza kuiona interface nakasiri up iro.
Kamwana pakanzi down set akutoti sama shutdown, no shutdown.
Exhibit die. Admin wants to configure switch 1 to allow SSH and prohibit telnet connections. How should the administrator change the displayed configuration to satisfy the requirement? So SSH, yes. Telnet, no. What do we change? SSH version 2, IP domain. Yeah. What do we change?
Transport input SSH shit.
Not all. Use SSH version 1. Reconfigure the RSA key. Configure SSH on a different client. Modify. Yeah.
So modified command unenge rachi.
Unongwa kunoti transport input SSH up instead of O.
Okay. All right.
So you can say transport input or the telnet up or SSH. Then password O, meaning SR2 anenge afu tambwa now.
Okay.
70. To answer 70.
High port density switch.
Right. Which solution alleviates network congestion due to collisions? Explain. Explain how does high port density alleviate network congestion? You can start by defining what high port density is and how does it help with network congestion. Answer my one. DOJJ. Explain. Yeah. So don't know zero.
I put density to avoid frame collisions from my ports.
How? Explain. Explain the network had been soon to be. Right. Collision domain. I think this is not a per definition a collision domain. We have a thing that we call a collision domain. I think last week I defined this that out is it's a segment on a network which allows a collision if multiple devices try to communicate at the same time. How a switch helps? Because a switch per collision domain, a switch is able to separate my collision domains. How does it separate? Every port on a switch represents a different collision domain. Saka maports akawanda, it means different collision domains. My collision domains akawanda, it means less collisions because each port has a collision domain here. Is it making sense?
Yes, you're making sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the more the ports, the more the collision domains. The more the collision domains, the less the collisions. Can I tell you one collision domain? That's a problem. To get my collision domains and I wonder. That's a solution. And switching over. Right. Which two statements are correct with respect to switch virtual interface, interval, and routing? Switching packets is faster with switch virtual interface. Question mark. There is no need for a connection to a router. This is correct. Kana tine maswitch virtual interface hatina need yerouter. Virtual interfaces support no. Virtual interface can be bundled into other channels. Can they? Question mark. Switch virtual interfaces eliminate the need for default gateway on the host. Just a minute. Tipe my answer to meanwhile. The 73 as well. Or again, we see 73. Answer 72 yapo here. Tidzokere pa 71.
Yeah, apari kuleka villain ID.
Parolega villain ID. Is it
Associated interface here.
Is it that obvious? Because the pakati a question mark in the highlights. Network admin is configuring inter-VLAN on a network. For now, only one VLAN is being used, but more will be added soon. What is the missing parameter that is shown? Okay. If VLAN is here missing up, VLAN 7.
Yeah, VLAN 7, yeah.
The answer maanza akapusa anozotanga kuoma manje. Because when you saw like the said, it identifies the subinterface, no VLAN number. I think this one is the answer. It identifies the type of encapsulation that is used, no. I think B, that's the answer. B sounds more like an answer. Right, then to get up now. Two statements are correct with respect to switch visual interface. Switch video, yes. Right, and that's one E. Switch visual interfaces eliminate the need for default gateways. No. But default gateways, they are still needed. But the answer is true. So that E no gonna the answer. Kwasara ish, the ish. Eliminates one node by reason things. Eliminate one node by reason. So that this one is correct. There is no need for a connection to a router. This one is correct. Then between A and C, no, A and D actually. Total and Y. Tampo explain ayeyo. Tampo tara nesha. Tara nye.
We have to eliminate A.
Why?
Yeah, because my switch visual, my SVI is idle traffic infrastructure landed at those what, and because we're using one physical interface.
Patinoshandisa one physical interface, inter-VLAN routing yacho inonzi router on a stick. Pane virtual interface ndepapa. Patinoshandisa one physical interface. Inozoita slow down everything. The inter-VLAN type inonzi router on a stick. Router on a stick inema virtual interface here. Aina. It is. Router on a stick and ma virtual interface. Cinema virtual interface is multi-layer. This one. Ish. Inter-VLAN in a chance of this doing a virtual interface. So we are looking at this. Can you eliminate A knowing this now? You cannot. So A is the correct answer. Why? Because can attend my virtual interface. My packets edu they be switched faster because they're using separate interfaces. And like this one, link roti one, traffic iri concentrated by link one, inenge rufamba isine link one. It slows down the network basically. Ziva, one receiver, musiwe. Send my answer. A, correct answer. B, correct answer. Right, this one we've done this. Number 73, what type of VLAN is designated traffic that is untagged? Native. Then which a network administrator issues the show VLAN brief command while troubleshooting a user support ticket. What output will be displayed? Show VLAN briefs shows you my VLANs, NEMA ports associated with those VLANs. So the VLAN assignment in membership for device mark, no. The VLAN assignment in membership of ports, E. Our answer is B. Then that one trunking. My ports are configured as my trunks. You have to go near show interface trunk. My ports are associated to my trunks. You won't see them per VLAN briefer. Right, open packet tracer, we cannot open that one. Number 76, mesh. This has already been meshed. You want to forward it. DHCP, ER5 to 60. Man, to check a question, ER5 to 60. Then number 77, what type of VLAN is configured with management traffic? Done. Right. So it means we can now write our checkpoint 1 to 4. Today is Friday. I think Monday, Totangane 5 to 6. Energy allows to know once over the weekend, but over the weekend, I think I'll be on campus. If no questions, I think we're good. Takarongeka.
Takarongeka, see.
Good.
Yeah, takarongeka. Iribo team, I'm out.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.